So since July 19th, they have gone 33-31. Since June 3rd, the original number, the Cubs are 54-48. They're a mediocre, a little above 500 team for all of June, for all of July, for all of August, and for all of September. Besides 2 months of baseball, this Cubs team has been an average baseball team. I'll give you another team. There was a team in that same process, Waddle, that went 53-47 the rest of the way since June 3rd. Name that team. I think the stat now is it's 13 straight games where they have not scored more, postseason games. They have not scored more than 3 runs. And then it's like 7, Carmen sent it to us, like 17 out of their last 18 playoff games.
Yeah, the only one is I think it was the last game of the NLDS against Washington in 2017.
Yes. So they've gone, it's a great question on, is this just a coincidence where these teams haven't hit well in the postseason because they're different? Is it the way Jed builds his offense where these teams slump towards the end? Like to go back to 2017 and knowing that the Cubs have scored 3 or fewer runs in 17 out of their last 18 postseason games. What is that?
I think that's a good stat, and it makes you say, oh, my God. But what happened in 17 has no bearing on what's happening in 2025.
Well, but like I said, and I tend to agree, but is there something in the way they have built their offenses since that time? Since coming off the World Series, you have the World Series hangover in 17. They still beat the Nationals to get to the NLCS at least, and that's when the streak starts. And then 18, you don't do anything. 19's the year you don't make the playoffs. You get swept by the Marlins in 2020, and you don't score any runs there.
I'm not connecting the dots from 17 to 25.
Tyler, do you think there's anything to that notion of the way Jed builds his team? Well, Theo at the end and then Jed?
I mean, those first couple of the sample size, those are Theo teams. Like even the 2020 when he had pretty much stepped down at that point, it's still Theo's guys.
For sure.
I would say it's more coincidence than anything, but it doesn't make it any better.
No,
it doesn't
it
make
still
you feel
hurts,
better.
But I mean, like, look, your regular season this year, you had 31 home runs, 24, 32, 23, 34, 22. My God, you had 6 guys who hit more than 20 and another guy in Carson Kelly who hit 17. Like, you scored runs. You were top 5 offense in baseball throughout the course of the year, were you not?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, I can't sit here and tell you, well, Jed just builds a team that runs out of gas. No, I mean, like, I can't randomly
not necessarily
say that.
like Bill. Like the problem I've always had with Jed is that he builds his teams like him. They're firm handshake guys. They're nice guys. They're good, maybe not great. Like, how many great players are on this Cubs team?
Well, that's
they're solid players. Like I've always told, take your daughter to prom type players. They're good guys.
Well, you're never going to get the Juan Sotos and the Shoheis. I mean, they won't spend the money for guys like that. So this is kind of how you're going to build your team.
Where's the last, PCA was traded for? He's been up and down, but where's the last guy they've developed? Not just signing these guys. You find them in many ways, shape, or form.
Listen, it all stings right now. I can't imagine. Look, the Brewers beat you last night doing something they've never done in the history of their organization. They've never hit a postseason 3-run home run. They hit 2 of them last night.
Which shocked me because I forget what year. What was it, 81, 80? There was one of those Brewers teams that played the Cardinals, I want to say,
well, you had
in the
Paul
World
Molitor,
Series.
You
had
Rob
team.
Deere, you had Robin Yount. I mean, you've had Gorman Thomas.
Yes.
You've had some sluggers for crying out loud.
Was it Cecil Cooper? Was he Cecil Cooper?
Yes.
Their first baseman?
So they're
I loved that team when they were in the American League. For those who are not old enough and you're like, how did they play the Cardinals in the World Series? The Brewers back in the day were a big White Sox rival.
Yeah.
The Brewers were an American League team.
That team had not hit a 3-run home run in the history of their organization in the postseason. They hit 2 of them last night, and not only did they hit 2 of them, they hit 2 of them with 2 outs. I think all of their runs were scored with 2 outs. And yes, that cat that used to play on the south side hit a home run for the first time since August 10th.
Thanks to you. Blame Waddle today. Line up your calls, 332-3776, and yell at Waddle.
I'm fine with that. I'm good with that. I wet myself. No, I didn't. I'm going to be honest with you. There was no wetting of myself last night.
The only saving grace from last night was we were out at, I told you, Papa Magoo's. Great people running that place. They run a sports dome and that bar. Every person who was in that bar at Papa Magoo's yesterday was a fan of the show. They were all there to see Shay and me and compete for a
bunch of liars, huh?
They all knew, like, you know, when they say, "Oh, I listen," and then they're like, "I listen every morning," and you're like, "Yeah, you don't listen. We're not on in the morning." But like, you could tell the ones. And yesterday's crowd was fabulous. Bud Light, thank you for qualifying yet another one, and we're going to give away the trip to Cincinnati today. 2 trips, correct, Tyler? Is that how we're doing
giving away 2.
And so how are we doing it? We're just pulling names?
Pulling names from the people who won trivia with us.
Okay, good. So, and if you went away, that was the only saving grace for me. Even though it was a long way to go, it made it all worth it. Shay did a great job holding things down and was fantastic with all the listeners and conducting the contest. And it was a great time last night, but like the high just lasts very short, where it was just like game one.
How'd you feel when Seiya hit the 3-run bomb? And that was a bomb.
I obviously felt good, but I didn't feel like, okay, we got a hold of this thing. I knew it was early. I knew Shota was good. I would have set the total at 1.5 home runs. You knew he was giving up at least one. And then sure enough, you know, he starts off, gets the first 2.
And then Babe Vaughn steps to the dish.
Yeah, you put 2 on. And
next thing you know, you're tied.
And then you're tied.
And then Cheerios hitting one to Oshkosh, and PCA thinks he can get it. So, hopefully he's not hurt.
They were making fun of him on Get Up today. Like, they never show baseball highlights, and they showed that one.
That one was weird. When it happened, I looked at my wife and I said, I hope he's okay. But I don't know why he was leaping for that.
It was a great treat yesterday. Boog was doing the game with Doug Glanville, 2 guys who we like a lot. And they were doing the game for the national radio audience. And I was listening, and you know Boog knows PCA as well as anybody. He was the first one who I had heard say, and this was like in an interview with us in June, when PCA was going well, he said to us, I wish he would be easier on himself. I wish he wouldn't throw his bat as much. And I kind of it didn't register at the time. And then I would see it, I'm like, oh, I think Boog's got a point here. And then it would happen with more and more frequency. And Boog was all over it. He said, boy, he ran into the wall trying to make a catch on a ball that was hitting the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I didn't get that one.
I mean, it's just one of those nights. I guess the moral of the story for me is just one of those nights where, like, everything that could go wrong went wrong. Like, all the runs are scored on 2 outs. They did something that they haven't ever done in the history of their organization. Like, your bats, you had 2 hits after the first inning. 2 hits. You had 4 hits total.
That's what happens.
Like,
when they slump together.
58 strikeouts in 5 playoff games. PCA has 10 Ks and 18 at-bats. Happ has 9 Ks and 19 at-bats. Swanson has 11 strikeouts and 17 at-bats. Matt Shaw has 6 strikeouts and 9 at-bats. For the love of everything good and pure in this world, I don't know why the Brewers are walking him, but he's taken 4 walks. Like, those guys are hitting. Matt Shaw is hitting 0. Swanson's hitting 176. Happ's hitting 105, and PCA's hitting 222. They were the bottom of the order was the best bottom of the order, I believe, in all of Major League Baseball this year, were they not? Or at least for the majority of the season. 7, 8, 9.
You're saying the Cubs side?
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, they have disappeared. Like, and again, I get it. Most people say, well, I mean, that's the bottom of your order. But one of the things that propelled this Cubs team to where they got to was the fact that if you're a pitcher, you were never given a breather because 7, 8, 9 was coming at you. They've disappeared.
I remember when the Cubs in 15, because a lot of people have compared this team to the 15 team. Maybe they're a year away, but they were fun for a lot of the year. In 15, when the Cubs fell behind to the Mets, 0-3 in the NLCS, I went to Game 4 with my wife, and I said, okay, this is the start. You could start here. I still had optimism because that was a team that could pitch, That was a team full of young, up-and-coming players that never quit. And I thought the impossible could happen after what the Red Sox had done a few years earlier to the Yankees. I hope they prove me wrong, but as a Cubs fan,
You don't have the same feeling?
it's not even close. Yeah. The question is usually, will the Cubs get it done by winning 3 in a row? Like everyone says, well, can they? Like if you frame it in the form of, can they? Sure, they can. The question is always, will they? I will say as a Cubs fan, I don't believe this Cubs team can win 3 straight in their current state. Every pitcher has gone south except for Tyon. Every starting pitcher. Boyd, no. Shota, no. They don't want to pitch Colin Ray. Every hitter, as you just mentioned, striking out, coming in bunches. How in the world? And so I went back on this and I said, well, you know, if only they could get hot. You know, that was our rallying point in September when they had been slumping. Well, they could get hot, and even though they didn't win the division, they could still go on a run. All right, so I got 2 teams for you. One, obviously, is the Cubs. So on June 4th, after the June 3rd game, entering the morning of June 4, the Cubs were 39-22. Early in the season, you played 2 months of baseball, basically a little bit more. You're 16 over 500 at 38-22. The Cubs, the rest of the way, the rest of the way. I'm sorry. Let me give you this number. They ended up finishing 92-70. So they were 22 over after starting 16 over. On July 19th, they were 59-39. So since July 19th, they have gone 33-31. Since June 3rd, the original number, the Cubs are 54-48. They're a mediocre, a little above 500 team for all of June, for all of July, for all of August, and for all of September. Besides 2 months of baseball, this Cubs team has been an average baseball team. I'll give you another team. There was a team in that same process, Waddle, that went 53-47 the rest of the way since June 3rd. Name that team.
The Milwaukee Brewers.
The Cubs, no, the Brewers remember how hot the Brewers got? Remember that they went on that unbelievable run? So this team started off worse, and they started off 30-32. Since that time, they've gone 53-47.
The Dodgers.
That's the Reds. My point is, you looked at your Reds and say, they made the playoffs. Yeah. They're just an average team. They don't have a shot.
No.
The Cubs and the Reds have been the same team since June 3rd of this year. This is not a bad September. This is not a bad second half. This is a average. This is not a good baseball team. Like, they're good. They're not great. They're not winning 3 in a row. I wanted to stand up today and tell you, Jed had a chance to get reinforcements. He didn't. He didn't get any starting pitching. He didn't get any high leverage back end of the bullpen guys. And you're seeing the result of that. You're seeing the result of bad decisions by the manager.
Well,
you're seeing now. Here's the other thing. When Tyler and I was thinking about this too, Tyler, you and I have been arguing about Ian Happ. Like, where do you bat Ian Happ? And should he bat third? And if you don't know on October 1st who your third or fourth hitter should be, your team's probably not good offensively.
Well, I think that has more to do with what Tucker has been.
Well,
like
okay,
Tucker's
but
injuries
that is what Tucker is. I mean, Tucker in his good days is usually a number 2 hitter.
Right.
When they were having their but the Cubs, we've been debating who's their leadoff hitter, who's their third hitter, who should hit fourth. Great teams don't debate that in October. Should it be Ian Happ batting third? Should it be Seiya batting third? Should it be Dansby batting third? Should it be this guy batting third? Like, if you don't know who your third or fourth hitter is or leadoff hitter these days, you probably don't have a good offense.
No, but I don't know anyone was saying that this was a great Cubs team. Good, but not a great. I don't think there's anybody was saying they were a great team, especially as you described the last few months of the season. There was a stretch when they were all hitting that they were lights out. But those stretches don't last for an entire season.
Right, and it's okay to have a bad month and then to turn it around. My point is, in the grand scheme of things, these Cubs haven't been a good team for a long time.
No, they're second half.
And think about that record. That record since June 3rd, as I told you just now, was 54-48. That was with the hottest pitcher in baseball in the second half of the season. You still only did that having one of the top pitchers in the second half of all of baseball. They're not a great team, and they got a lot of work to do this offseason. I know we're not there yet, Cubs fans. You still got a game to play with, but I'm out. How do you guys feel? Do you think I'm crazy to say that they don't have any chance to win? 312-332-3776.
Who would you consider to be a great team in Major League Baseball right now?
The Dodgers are great, and I still think the Phillies are a great team. They haven't played like a great team in this postseason series.
So they have the potential to be great. Like the Dodgers.
Toronto's a buzzsaw right now.
And Seattle's got that dude in as an MVP.
Yeah. Seattle was a 90-72 team. Right now, for sure. I think this has been a year where Major League Baseball, it's kind of been everybody's been in the same group. And whoever gets hot at the end of the year is going to be the team that's going to hoist the trophy. Like, the Dodgers bullpen is a disaster. Now they're finding ways to put it together, but like nobody was screaming about the Dodgers being great. But they've got pedigree and they've got some out of this world players that when the postseason came, they've started to deliver for sure.
They've got so many guys though that are studs.
Yeah, but the Dodgers are they've got a $400 million payroll. So like the Dodgers are kind of in their own group. Whether or not they play great, that's a different conversation. But they've got the capacity to be better than everybody at the start of the season throughout. Look at their starting rotation. Now, it depends on who's healthy. Look at their bullpen. Look at their everyday lineup. Nobody stacks up with them on paper. Nobody. Who? Who stacks up with the Dodgers? Nobody on paper. The season's got to be played. But on paper, nobody's in the Dodgers class. Is anybody close?
No, I understand.
Maybe the Phillies?
Yeah, I think what's the Phillies' payroll? They're pretty close to that too. I thought the Phillies would win that series. They can come back too. I give them more of a chance to come back than the Cubs.
Yeah,
but you use that term again, like whoever gets hot, and that's my point is for us to think that the Cubs could get hot. I think was a poor thought because they haven't gotten hot in forever. They haven't won more than 5 games in a row. Like everyone always says, oh, well, they haven't lost more than 5. But they have shown you that they don't streak on the good side.
Shame on all of us who picked them to beat the Brewers. Some in 4, some in 5.
Yeah, I had them in 4.
Isn't it part of what's – I think part of the frustration is what you guys are saying is like there are no – real great teams in baseball right now. That's not usually the case. There's usually one team who is like head and shoulders above everybody else that you have to go through. And I understand that like on paper, the Dodgers are supposed to be that team, but their bullpen is such a pronounced weakness right now that this was probably the best opportunity you would think you could have if you're the Cubs to be a good team who could win the World Series. And you're probably you might get swept in the divisional series. Like that to me is one of the biggest points of frustration.
Baseball's a funky beast. It really is. I don't know that I don't think any of us thought the Cubs were a great team.
No, I've always said that they're a very good team.
Yeah.
Like they're good to very good team, and they surprised me with that early.
And look, the Brewers are. I take nothing away. They were a good team, but the Brewers were 22nd or 23rd in the league hitting home runs. They hit 3 last night against your team.
Yeah.
And 2 of them were 3-run bombs with 2 outs. Like, the Brewers haven't won a playoff series since, 2016? So, I mean, I can't put the Brewers on a pedestal. They haven't done anything. I mean, you win the division.
They're beatable, right?
Yes.
But not. I don't think it's capable by the Cubs.
Well, that's a different conversation.
Yeah.
But
the thing is if
like
you
nobody thought the Padres were an unbeatable team, right? Like,
No.
Preller went out there and coughed up every piece of prized farm hand possession, and they got bounced by the Cubs.
if you put the Brewers at their best and the Cubs at their best, I don't think it's a fair fight. I think the Cubs beat that team pretty handily.
Well, isn't that then shame on them? If you're telling me that on paper they're better talent-wise and they're getting their ass kicked right now, isn't that? I know baseball's different than basketball, but isn't that shame on them? And like my point is, the Cubs haven't been their best since May.